lights, camera, content. That's the necessary order that takes place when turning an idea for a project into a finished work for the internet to see. But note what comes first in that list. Lights. When it comes to video, lighting is everything. It affects every piece of video content you've ever seen on YouTube, in a movie theater, on Facebook or TikTok, wherever. But you've likely only noticed if the lighting was done poorly. Lighting in video seems like a no-brainer. If it looks good with your own eyes, then shouldn't it show up fine on video? That seems reasonable until you go to shoot your first piece of video content, and shadows and wonky color are so distracting that you, the creator, won't even want to watch it. And if you're live streaming, good luck trying to keep your audience engaged and tuned in. But good lighting is easier to attain than you may think, so let's go over some simple tips for the best lighting setup for video. It should be understood that certain elements of good lighting are subjective, but for most applications there are hard and fast rules to follow to ensure your subject is seen properly. The most trusted lighting principle is the 3-point lighting method, which I guarantee you've seen. It offers a natural, flattering, and appealing look, and there are a few giveaways of a 3-point lighting setup when looking at a subject. One side will be more shadowed than the other, indicating the light source is coming from the opposite direction. And you'll also notice the subject seemingly outlined with light, clearly separating them from the background. This simple look is the result of 3-point lighting, and those 3 points are the key light, fill light, and backlight. The key light is the main light source illuminating a subject. It sets the scene for the video and is the first step in creating a good, appealing lighting setup. We'll place it in front of the subject and to the right or left. You're trying to create a small triangle of light on the shadowed side of the person's face, high on their cheek, under the eye, also called Rembrandt's triangle. If you only have one light to work with for your streaming setup, a key light is always the most important to have. A key light doesn't just have to be a video light. It can be anything that's giving off enough to illuminate your subject. A lamp, a window, the early morning or late evening sun, it can all be used in a pinch. The fill light is like a mirror of the key light, but less bright and intense, and its purpose is to lighten the shadow created by the key light. Without a fill light, the shadows could be nearly black with almost no detail of the person's face. You don't want the fill light so strong as to compete with the key light and create even lighting, and you'll know if it's too weak if the fill light isn't bringing back enough detail. Again, look for the Rembrandt's triangle on the shadowed cheek as an indicator if the fill light is at the right brightness. The backlight, or hair light, is placed behind the subject and off camera, and it's just bright enough to create an outline of light around the subject to help them stand out from the background. A small, more directional light works great as a backlight, and you can use something as simple as a flashlight for that mentioned background separation. Also, be sure to turn off the overhead lights of the room you're filming in. The overhead lights will interfere with your 3-point lighting setup and create unwanted shadows that overpower your video lighting. However, adding lamps or other practical lights in the video is okay. It can actually enhance your scene, but make sure it's not intensely bright light or distracting from the subject on screen. We've got the basics of a good lighting setup, so now let's talk about what kind of lights can help you accomplish it. There are way too many directions you can go in as far as brands and products, so we'll stick to what to look for in a light to help you choose a quality light that's best for you. As for the type of light, LED lights are portable, affordable lighting options to get the same look as the professionals on Hollywood sets. But those lights aren't just for filmmakers. They're small enough to fit right on a desk or a small stand off camera, and they won't emit so much heat to make you or your subject sweat like older lights can. When choosing an LED, you want to consider its color temperature, measured in Kelvin, or K, which indicates how warm or cool a light source is. The higher the color temperature, the cooler or more blue the light will be. The lower the color temperature, the warmer or more orange a light source will be. Sunlight, for instance, sits around 5600 Kelvin, and warm household lights are around 3200 Kelvin. In short, you're looking to match your camera's white balance setting to the color temperature of the light source in the scene. The best kind of light to go for is bicolor, which will let you change the color temperature of the light to a warmer or cooler setting. Better yet, a variable color temperature light will let you choose a precise color temperature that you can exactly match your camera's white balance to. Just like lights are not all the same color, light sources can have different qualities to them in terms of the shadows they create. A hard light source will be directional and intense, and the shadows it creates will be sharp and defined. A soft light source is diffused and spread out, and the resulting shadows will gradually fall off without a perfectly defined line of where the light stops and the shadow begins. Generally, soft light is more desirable and flattering for the pleasing shadows and definition it creates. Some lights will come with a diffusion cover, but you can also just throw a white cloth over the light to get a similar, low-budget effect. An honorable mention here in terms of lighting equipment is the ring light. which has become more popular over the years due to the rise of selfie-style videos and short-form content. You've likely seen one or even owned one yourself, and ring lights are particularly popular with makeup and beauty content. With a ring light, the camera goes in the center while the light illuminates the subject head-on. Ring lights are quick to set up, simple to use, and less fuss than employing a 3-point lighting setup. So consider them if you need something super quick and easy that'll look the same every time. And after all that, we have a lighting setup with shadows that aren't distracting, everything's a natural color, and we can get on with creating content. Tell us about your lighting setup in the comments and on social, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos on video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.